Hello, everyone. I have a quick little gift for you today. I am creating a pick a pile tarot reading, and I know the format here is a little different, as well as my setup is a little different. For those of you who do personals with me and know that normally come to YouTube or for your personals, I think I am considering genuinely moving my the interactions with audiences. I'm thinking about moving it over to YouTube because I feel like a video format, just in the day and age of like AI and the way that the algorithms are rolling on, the other platforms, I'm just really feeling like creating a much more intimate, much more centered, grounded, space that is me is super important where you guys can like hear my voice and see my face and are able to connect a little bit more personally so that you kind of get a feel for who I am and what I do. I used to make zodiac tarot readings on YouTube, but now I'm really genuinely just kind of dipping my toes into pick a piles and seeing where that goes. And yeah, so let's get to it. I have three piles here. This is your first pile with a cool little like geometric 3D shape. It is gifted to me by a friend. This is tree agate. Yeah, yeah. Because moss agate is like when the quartz is clear. Tree agate is when the quartz is a little bit more milky, so the feminine quartz. Feminine, groundedness, heart-centered, um, very, very beautiful stone. And we have the sun, the pink egg, and then this one with the aragonite. Isn't it beautiful? It's one of my newest in my collection. That's why I said I have to put it into this reading. It's just too perfect. So we're going to start with pile one. So right off the bat, what I want to say about this crystal is it was given to me from my friend who is very, very dear to me. I love her so much. We've been friends through many different life cycles, many different growth cycles, and she is probably one of the people that honestly you can go ahead and thank her for me being here because there have been many a throw in the towel moments in my life, and this beautiful, beautiful just angel, earth angel, I feel like was placed into my life to create this like absolutely catalytic level of encouragement that I cannot even like the level of gratuity, you know who you are. Thank you for being my friend. And this card is, and actually this is interesting. I've never pulled this card, so I had to look into the meaning, and I'm going to read that out of the book. It's morality. Morality. uh, and like create a little bit of a description, but she's very like clouded. Her eyes are covered. She's very, it's almost like she's caged in. There's illusions, maybe deception, lots of restriction, a sadness, sort of a macabreness to her energy. So, um, being that this is such a heart-centered, grounded, special thing to me, and the card that you got is morality, um, I found that very interesting. I'm gonna read the book for you guys. But just because like the two energies from this card and this crystal, my association with them are so drastically different. It's almost like a reminder to me because when I think about this friendship, I get a very like inner child sort of energy. And we all know that whenever we step too deeply into like our 3D world or we create these like bounds and shackles for ourselves in our lives, like we really are not able to let our inner child play and exist. And in a way, which I find really interesting, too much structure, right? Too much structure, which I find it's like a 3D structural thing, too much 3D, right? It you lose that sense of playfulness. You lose the light, the inner rainbow, the inner sort of fun that you have. It's just some things that I'm kind of getting here. And this is interesting because again, like I've had this deck for oh over half a decade. It's been years, years and years, and I've never pulled this card. Morelli has restricted all of the juice and energy of life to the narrow confines of her mind. It can't flow there, so she becomes a dried up old prune. That's actually totally what I was getting. So interesting. Too much structure actually loses the structure where you can't find the vitality in life. You lose the sense to like the connection to your inner child. You lose the connection to the earth. I want to also say like there's this like dark light swirly thing, right? I definitely have like a divine feminine inner child connection to the earth, connection to your heart center because this is a heart-based stone. Whenever you lose that, you lose the actual structure of your physical, tangible life. You literally, like, you lose the juice. Yeah, you lose the vitality. That's literally what it says. Her whole manner is very proper and stiff and severe, and she is always ready to see every situation as black and white, like the jewel she wears around her neck. Interesting. I didn't even see that black and white, yin and yang. Too much structure. The Queen of Cloud lurks in her mind of all of us who have been brought up with the rigid ideas of good and bad, sinful and virtuous, acceptable and unacceptable, moral and immoral. It's important to remember that all of these judgments of the mind is important and sticking out to me, are just products of our conditioning, right? Very inner child-esque. Judgments of the mind are products of conditioning. So what you deem as acceptable, excuse me, what you may deem as acceptable or unacceptable likely is not even your own voice or your own sense of assessment and judgment. A lot of times, this is conditioning that actually like pulls us further from our inner truth, inner freedom, and inner child connection. It's important to remember that all of these judgments of the mind are just products of our conditioning, and whether our judgments are applied to ourselves or to others, keep in mind that you are only ever judging others when you judge yourself. So if you find yourself judging others, they keep us from experiencing the beauty and godliness that lies within. Only when we break through those cages of conditioning and reach the truths of our own hearts can we begin to see life as it really is. Yes, I forget who said this. It was a psychologist. I heard it today, but he said something to the effect of like, judgment and shame. So self-esteem is directly related to the amount of judgment and shame someone has within themselves. And if they're judging and shaming another, that then that means that their self-esteem is likely low and that they are also judging and shaming themselves. Be mindful of that. And it's definitely something that I've noticed in my own life is that judgment and shame is something that like once I've gone into my own inner stuff, my own inner like conditioning and programming, truly, not only was I able to connect with my inner child, my inner truth, my inner wisdom, my divinity and my guidance, I was genuinely able to find more structure, more heart-centered structure, more truth, like more of my own inner knowing because I was able to release the like very 3D, very earthly, I think, like expectation of what good and right should look like. Because again, this could be very based on your culture, based on your upbringing, based on the dysfunctions that you might have in your family dynamics. Like if we're going to go inner child, go all the way, right? I'm a shadow worker, and so I love to pay attention to the unconscious aspects of the mind. That stuff to me is the most fascinating. King of Wands and the Leather. Is that too short? Please don't. Please don't flag me, YouTube. So splitting it up, love and excitement, going after the things that bring you joyfulness in this lifetime. So I'm actually gonna just pull, let me start with this. I'm gonna pull, because this again, this is a collective reading. Take what fits, leave what doesn't. I'm gonna pull three and then I'll put some voice, kind of make it similar to my personals. Page of Swords. Swords. You know, with the Page of Swords, I think like back and forth communication, oh, just like inner child, because the page is a very like immature energy, back and forth communication. Like, who are you maybe judging? You're judging yourself through the eyes of another spirit. Can you please get one, please? I'm not taking all of them. Can you please get one? I will do strength. Morality, Page of Swords, Two of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. Again, with the earthy energy, I'm feeling like a strong connection to here. Pentacles being the tangible way that you create your reality and how yeah, how you manifest your kingdom, having two truths. So again, and I want to point something out. With this Two of Swords, the two truths fighting against the inner truth of like conditioning, of societal conditioning, right? The things that you were taught to believe, that you were taught were correct or right, and the things that in your heart of hearts, once examined, okay? Because again, if you're operating from a place of shame, you're not going to be able to. It's a very unconscious way of living. But if you've not examined those things and really like plucked apart why you are believing the things that you're believing, or doing the things that you're doing, or having the responses that you're having, you won't be able to truly say that you live an examined life. And I even have this, which is so funny because this is something my friend would do. You have this little thing, boom, really cute. So we'll pull more cards and then get an advice line. Do we need clarifying cards? Actually, yeah, give me two for the two swords. What are the two truths? Just two. Just two. Any more? I would put it just two, please. What are my two truths? Oh, that's too many. Two truths, please. Yeah. See, and I can feel that's too many. I can feel movement in my throat chakra. Two truths. Something that's stuck and something that wants to be released. What that means for you. Again, this is a timeless reading. So you take it. Is it present? I'm over here trying to look like a professional. No, that's not real. Professional is just someone who gets paid to do what they do for a living. And if I'm going to be an authenticity coach, I got to be authentic to me. So does that other true? That's too many. Give me one. You're here blasting cards at me. What is this? Give me one, spirit. Their truth. Victory and light. What's the truth? I'm not taking it. Give me one, or I will break it. Okay. King of Cups. It's still a water thing. It was like victory and King of Cups. So the King of Cups is definitely very fatherly energy. I'm definitely gonna say if this is something relative to the conditioning of your fatherly line, this is resonating for you, pay attention to the how like your father influences your journey in a way that like actually I'm gonna go ahead and say prevents you from finding that victory. Something with I'm like the King of Cups is not someone who is intentionally not nourishing in a way like he has good intentions, he's very loving, he's very he wants to take care of his family, but even well-intended things like my throat's tightening up a little bit, even well-intended things don't always land the way that we need them to. So for example, like they have that saying, the same conditions that harden the egg soften the potato, I think something like that. And what your father may have taught you, or what your fatherly line may have taught you in this lifetime, is not actually the thing that's going to bring you victory. That's something to consider. And that your programming and conditioning may actually be the thing that's keeping you from stepping into this like divine Queen of Pentacles energy where you can naturally attract, because again, a queen is an attractor. She's not a propagator. So the like king is more of the go-getter and the doer, and the queen is more of the attractor. So for you to even attract more wealth, stability, and abundance, happiness, freedom, inner childlike energy, pay attention to perhaps the conditioning around the fatherly line, or that sort of like masculine conditioning around maybe emotions or playfulness, or I'm getting like the word intolerance. So whatever like intolerant thing that you would do as a child, i.e., like sticking your hands in the mud, digging for worms, or whatever, right? Or just how you should show up as a man or as a woman. Maybe your father taught you that maybe you're not supposed to wear skirts above the knee, or that which really created this lack of vitality and shame and suppression within your nervous system around your sensuality and your vitality, right? That's all sacral chakra related. But for a man, for example, if your father taught you that you're not to be a strong man, you're not able to fully express, speak about, talk about your emotions, your emotional truth, right? With the Page of Swords, you're not able to actually develop those qualities later in life, or really any time in life if you don't focus on it. And it creates this cage, this like morality cage where you're not able to tap into the like genuine inner joys of life and the fruitfulness and the vitality that life has to give you, thus keeping you from your victory. See? So I'm actually going to get one to say hello. Otherwise, you can book a personal with me on my website, starshinehealingarts.com. I also offer psychic medium things and QHHT and hypnosis and oh, somatic processing. That literally there are so many things. I can't even get into that right now. Look at me, bad at marketing. Who cares? Advice. Right, one more. My spirit. Let's cap it off with or pile number one, the blue tea. What I do find interesting is we have the Four of Cups, the Nine of Cups, Queen of Cups, King of Swords, Two of Cups, Nine of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. But this is all in the after tarot. So it is essentially the idea of this card deck is that it is moments after the original depiction in the uh, original deck. So again, this is a new one, so just kind of like work with me. The first thing I'm noticing in your advice line is the Four of Cups. Okay, normally this is a card about emotional unfulfillment, but he's pouring that out. He is pouring that cup out. He is not paying attention to that advice or that cup of love being offered here by this King of Cups. He's pouring that out, right? And the advice here says that by pouring that out, you're going to be able to have your Nine of Cups, right? You see, this dude is like eating his fruits of his labor. He's eating, he's enjoying himself. This is a card about emotional enjoyment. But in the original deck, he's sitting there, with his hands crossed, like kind of looking smug and happy, proud of himself, which he should. It's his Nine of Cups. But in this one, he's enjoying. Not just proud of it, but enjoying the actual fruits of it. So, something about, again, inner child embodiment, physical, tangible, like enjoying your life is literally required. Like letting go of this belief or this thing that you have that's keeping you from like reaching your full potential, your full vitality, your happiness, like something with your father line. I'm going to go ahead and say this idea or these beliefs. Maybe this might have been an ex-husband for you, or even a well-meaning friend. Whichever the case, a masculine-esque energy. And the cards are genuinely like genderless, but I'm really reading this as like a masculine energy, like a fatherly line. So in an ancestral context, because again, this is very like 3D structured, physical, tangible, earthy, heart-based, very like tree agate and moss agate are very grounded, heart-based stones, very nature-based stones. So very like home and family, very earthy, very, hardy, very hardy. Don't click off. Okay. So we then have the Queen of Cups, and she's like admiring her cup. She's opening it up, and she's kind of looking at the fish. She's looking at what she got. And we has the King of Swords, which I find interesting is on this side here, we have the King and Queen of Swords. She's looking at a butterfly. He's looking at a hawk. And for this one, I'm going to go ahead and say this is going to be very much so like third eye, divine, like higher perspective. And for this feminine energy, it's very much like a more gentle approach because the Queen of Swords can be very like brute. She does not play around. And in between that, we have the Nine of Wands. But in the after tarot, I find it interesting that he has a friend to come to help. And he's kind of like, man, this is, a bit of a journey, right? So if someone has come to help you in untangling maybe some generational trauma, or you have found people around you who are literally helping you work through these beliefs that perhaps like an ex-husband or maybe it's like father of your children or your father, like helping you untangle those beliefs. If there's someone around you to help, accept their help. This might be a lover, this might be a friend, this is someone that um, you might have some kind of romantic connection with, but like in the original, right? They're like offering cups of love to each other. In this one, they've come together, they're in union. And so perhaps if you're an air sign, which is like Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, you're an air sign, perhaps there needs to be some kind of like physical coming together, changing of truth, softening and of the heart, and like sort of having a higher perspective. Or if this is, oops, or if this is maybe like talking to your parents about where that stuff comes from, or just really really unpacking your beliefs and your thoughts and your ideas as the king and queen of swords in your own life, maybe working together with partnerships, working to because I get like there's someone, it's almost like someone coming to help you. So if someone is coming to help you to reframe this structure, like let them, right? Let them. And even if it's hard to look at, and the reason why I say that is because the Queen of Swords is like looking up to the butterfly, looking through the eyes of gentleness, not through the eyes of like a drawn sword. And the King of Swords is, his sword is down and he has his falcon. He's, going to send it off and look beyond what is right in front of him, beyond the truth that he is sort of like put his sword in the ground to, right? Like, this is my truth. I'm not moving. There's always more truth, dude. There's always more truth. To be brave. You have to be brave. So, pile number one, I hope that helps. I hope that maybe that gives you a bit of direction looking up through your fatherly line with the eyes of gentleness and patience, accepting help to rewrite the story of yours if you have found it, or if it comes to you. Um, and really acknowledging how you might be stepping in your own 2 feet by not examining for yourself what is and is not really beneficial for your own success and fulfillment, for your own morality. What beliefs, what expectations, ideas, and conditionings are keeping you stuck? Hello, pile two. If you chose the pink egg, you also got the success card. So this is actually a super positive card. Very happy to see it. And something I want to note is that it is also accompanied by a pink quartz egg. So something relative to, maybe there's like energies relative to self-love, self-worth, divine femininity, because a lot of times eggs are used in like yoni ceremonies and things like that. But they represent like fertility and abundance and all these things to do with self-love. So let's say like pink and orange energy, very like sacral self-love heart energy, relative to success, this is what I find interesting. Relative to success, and everybody who has done womb work or some kind of like womb clearing knows knows that you end up reaching incredible heights once you do shadow work, like incredible heights once you do shadow work. And so if you have been doing any sort of self-love shadow work or any sort of like like wound clearing or like healing or like abundance sort of mindset, fertility mindset, or abundance mentality work, I'm going to go ahead and say that like it's working. And if you haven't seen tangible results of it, definitely know that it's coming. Something else I will say is that with this particular card, the success card, right? He's like riding on a tiger, doesn't have a care in the world. I'm actually not going to read the meaning to this one because I tend to draw this one a lot for my own journey and I don't need to. So for this card, there's a dual meaning, right? The success card is definitely about abundance, feeling on top of the world, feeling good about yourself and about the journey that you're on, right? But also to keep in mind that, ebb and flow, what goes up must come down. So whenever you are on this abundance journey, abundance mindset, sort of like womb health journey, something you will recognize is that embracing loss as well as welcoming abundance are two like sides of the same coin, right? We restrict the flow of our vitality, of our success, of our happiness, and our joyfulness, both by resisting what we need to let go of because it ends up souring and spoiling even things that may have been very beneficial for us in the past that may no longer work because again being an egg, it's about rebirth. It's about, so rebirth implies the death process. So death and rebirth and death and rebirth. So the cycle of transformation and alchemy goes. This embracing loss or embracing gain, whichever place that you're in right now, I'm again going to go ahead and say congratulations because either you are soaking in the riches right now or you are letting go of what is preventing you from soaking in your riches. And by riches, it could be money, it could be relationships, it could be genuinely just like happiness and joyfulness or whatever it is, like a new job or a new way of thinking, a new way of seeing yourself, or just a new sort of, abundance mindset. There's something with self-worth, self-love, enoughness. I think that's really tying into these cards. I'm kind of excited to see what we get. So give me three with this success card, please. And again, if you've been doing the work, like congratulations, I'm telling you, your rewards are coming in soon. I can just let that feel super strong. And if you've been resisting the loss, honey, that's the thing you have to let go if you want new things to enter your life. Yeah. Blind and dying for your soul. Also, success may not look the same. Like, oh man, I shared a post that I made a long time ago, literally called Redefining Success. So redefining success is something that I was really like working on with money mindset and with embracing loss, embracing change, embracing just sort of icky, sticky things that I didn't want to do, little disciplines and such, somatic work, nervous system rewiring. And like every little step, I think that's something else. Every little step adds up. I don't know. You might have messages in pile number three as well, but embracing the like ebbs and flows of life, right? Because life is not still, which is funny. You got the wheel of fortune forward movement. Life is not still. Okay. Life is not a still frame. I can definitely say there are two constants, two guarantees in life: death and change, which is like a death's little cousin. So we're all gonna die and shit's gonna change. You know what I'm saying? So, with that in mind, we have Death and Dev Jr. What are you going to do with that? Are you going to try to evade and avoid it, or are you going to ride the waves, right? Sometimes I think we evade and avoid because we don't have the surfboard and the tools and the knowledge or maybe the perspectives that we need to be able to embrace loss or to even welcome abundance because we can really genuinely, so there's like I'm getting two things, right? We can literally self-sabotage ourselves. We can sabotage our lives by holding on to something that is good enough but not serving us to our fullest, capacity. And there's like that part of us that kind of knows that, as well as things that are if we don't believe that we are good enough to obtain something or reach a certain height or go for that new thing, like you're not going to put in the job application. You're not going to go talk to that person. You're not going to shoot your shot. You're not going to, if you struggle with your own self-worth, you will really step on your own feet in the way that you will prevent yourself from um like getting things that you otherwise, if you had a little bit of confidence, you could get. So embracing or allowing what's coming in to help you move on to the next thing, or allowing what is no longer for you so that you can move on to the next thing, both are success. They may not look like success, but again, we have to redefine success because success is not like a milestone in life, house, job, career, person, kid, blah, blah, blah. Success is individual, like a very subjective experience. Success is a subjective experience, and to put that emphasis on someone other than oneself, because again, here, self love, self, to put that definition or whatever you're defining as successful, to put those parameters in someone else's hand is giving away a lot of power, a lot of truth, and a lot of like genuine love to who you came to be uh, in this lifetime. Like by measuring yourself on other people's scales, you're not staying true to yourself, and you're not staying true to the path that was presented for you to walk for your highest good. Can't be paying attention what anyone else is saying. I'm gonna take it. King of Wands. Yeah. Yeah. It's like a card of I'm gonna pull some clarifiers. Three of Swords to the Wheel of Fortunes to the King of Wands. Allowing this is too many spirit. Can you have them flip and face me? And also can you give me no more than like two or three? That would be really solid. But the King of Wands is a fiery, confident, passionate, person. He's very sure of himself. Knight of Swords and the Nine of Swords. I'm kind of picking up because again, this is a collective reading, so it's not going to resonate for everyone. This is for I'm actually going to pull one more qualifier, Tarot the New Vision. So this is just like a different perspective of the same card. I got a couple of different new decks that I haven't used a whole lot of, so we get to learn these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful decks together. I just want to say, like, look at the back of the cards. That's beautiful to me. So splitting the deck, we have the King of Wands, King of Cups. Interesting. Oh, that is one for Pentacles. Something with belief, things that keep you up at night, confidences, maybe things that, man, okay, hear me out, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me. If there have been, because I'm almost getting like this kind of bully energy. If there have been people in your life that have told you, like, you can't do it, or you're not good enough, or like they really cut you down with their truth, their projections. Again, they cut you down with their measure of success, right? They told you what their measure of success is. And if you let this shit keep you up at night, if you let this be your parameters for what success is, You will never step into that King of Wands energy. See? You will never step into your own like magic purpose, so to speak. So death and rebirth, like letting go of what others define as successful to you. Like if you left a relationship that was toxic, congratulations, you know? If you got a new job with a raise, congratulations. If you left a toxic job and took a cut and pay, congratulations. These are all ways to define success. And we should not be up at night stressing about what other people with their stinky, butthurt, sad experiences, right, project onto us. We will never move forward into our power, into our King of Wands energy. So give me this new perspective. Give me a new perspective. What's the new perspective? Something with like, what is the new perspective? What is the new perspective? What is this? I just one. God bless. God bless. Oh, hello. Oh my goodness. It's death. I love it. I know, I know. So no one is dying, but genuinely having a new perspective on the death and rebirth process. This is something I tell people to embrace. I listen, la muerte, la muerte, la mort. They're taught. It's in a bunch of different languages. Death. What are these languages? Why am I I'm being shown these languages? Maybe death to a way of communicating, death to speak in different languages. Maybe you speak a different language. Maybe you actually tangibly speak a different language than someone else because this, for some reason, they have other languages for different word names for this card, which I think is really interesting. And it's also very interesting the fact that the first thing that my eyes got pulled to. So maybe you feel like you're speaking a different language than someone and they don't understand. And it's like they are very quick to tell you, like, no, this and this and this and this. But you're not even speaking the same language. So it's like, how could they don't even, what's also interesting is they're riding the same horse, the white horse of truth and purity. So it's like there's no bad intentions, but riding the same horse of truth and purity, it's just like death doesn't have this sort of like hang up on um on his truth being accepted or delivered, which I think is really interesting because that's quite literally the Knight of Wands. He's quick to deliver his truth, sure, but he doesn't like he has such a hang up on other people also accepting their like his truth, and it's almost like he needs it. He needs other people to agree with him, and that's something that I like death, whenever the death comes card comes out, especially in the original one, something I always tell people is like death as a major arcana, he is not personal. It's never personal when death visits. It's always a larger sort of grander scheme, right? It's never personal. And in the original, deck, you see like Death coming in and he's looking at the situation, kind of just marching in. He's not running in. This dude is booking it, like he's marching in, right? And the priest is pleading, the kids are praying, the guy is, I mean, he's done for, honestly. But something I find interesting is you don't see the woman crying on this side. So just pleading. But Death is paying attention. Stepping over the man. Oh, he's a king, stepping over the man, kind of on his crown. Yeah, because I mean, listen, if you're, oh gosh, if even if you were listen, I'm going to preface this with this is not supposed to be spiritual bypassy. It might land this way, especially if you're in a space where you are losing a lot. I mean, a lot. I've had to walk through women losing millions of dollars because of just shitty divorces. And, I have seen it all. I have seen it all. So if you are, which granted, these people are much happier now, because maybe their parameters for success was money, and they got all the money, but they realized they weren't genuinely emotionally fulfilled. So they had to, in this lifetime experience, walk away from that and to get really clear with what's really important. Now, if everyone else is saying, bro, what about the money, and there's a part of you that's kind of hung up on that, keep in mind, if you don't let go of other people's truths, right? Pull the sword out, let go, pull the sword of confusion out, the sting of other people's truths, the stuckness, that the truth that keeps you stuck. You will have your one truth. See, it's like it's all these extra opinions that create the chaos that doesn't allow you to step into your King of Wands energy. All of these other opinions. So something about your success being related to your self-worth and your self-trust. Your truth, your self-trust. Don't look anywhere else. Don't look anywhere else for this. Especially if you catch yourself almost feeling like you're up at night, stressing, you catch yourself listening to other people. That is that is not, let that shit go, death. New vision, you have to let it go. You have to let that go. Let that go. Let go of carrying what other people think, because it's not going to bring you the joyfulness that I think you think it's going to bring you. You are not going to find joyfulness through the lens or the measure of their idea of success. Yeah. You have to also, again, if you're in this space, maybe letting go of, yeah, what that looks like, so that more can come in, death and rebirth. Because if death happens, rebirth does too. Yeah. Something else about eggs. I don't know. I raise chickens. I don't know if you guys do, but what I find really interesting is that whenever they call it a chicken song, right? It's a very pretty way of saying, I've had my babies naturally. So for my natural mamas out there, y'all already know. Y'all already know. I remember like praying for God to just strike me down with lightning. It was that painful. So a chicken song, the way that they croak out and sing, it doesn't sound like they're having fun. This might be a fun process for you. I'll acknowledge that. But to get to here, you have to go through it. You have to go through it, the ring of fire. Oh, you're in the ring of fire. My advice, my advice for my pile two, please. Oh, you're in the ring of fire, pile two. Almost there, but you have to let go the ring. To move forward, you have to let go of other people's parameters for your success. Advice. Mhm. The priestess, intuition, and a new beginning. Maybe your intuition is offering you some kind of new beginning. It's offering you a path or a way out, and you're saying, no, no, I could never. Oh, but you must. These people go into the church to seek refuge and they're sent away. You must. You must walk away to allow something new to come in. You must. You must. Also, like, consider what it is you're holding on to. Does it even serve you? This is a card about like kind of gripping onto things tightly. It's a card about saving money, yes, but in this context, I'm going to go ahead and say restricting the flow of abundance. So tightly, he has that gripped. So when he's like, being that this is the six, right, and then the five with the six of pen, I mean the four and then the five. So I guess the six is relevant here. It's funny because the seven. Just go with it. You have the four, right, gripping tightly onto it, and then the five, letting go. The six is about reciprocity. So you might not get support because that six of pentacles isn't here, by the way. You might not get support and like reciprocity, like that sort of like equal give and take with your ideas, the exchanging of ideas, or just like that sort of, if someone is telling you like, no, that doesn't make sense, da da da, and not like I'm not going to support you through that. You might not get the reciprocity, just saying. So, but to consider, because you have that four, you have the five, and then skips the six, goes to the seven, which is all about a period of like reconsideration. Like, do I even want to create this? Do I even want to continue to pour into this? He's looking at this pinnacle bush like, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Consider that too. Like whatever you're doing, whatever you're holding so tightly to, is it feeding your soul? Is it actually bringing you that measure of success? What is your measure of success? Yeah, you could be a millionaire, have properties, cars, the like. And if you're in an abusive relationship, you're not going to be happy. And I've seen it. People coming from money, they're not happy because their measure of success was externalized based upon what others told them it should be. And they lose access to their inner knowing, inner truth, their vitality, their happiness, their North Star, their purpose, their passion. Oh, what are you willing to do? Yeah, that's a lot to give away. Hmm. Knight of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. So again, once you let this go, you are surefire. Surefire. It might not come in as fast as you want to. Knight of Pentacles is kind of slow, but you are surefire to reach your Four of Wands, your celebration, your happiness, your goal. These are both cards of success. So pile two, embrace loss, welcome change, be receptive to love and help and letting go, and follow what is true for you. Hope this helps. If you chose the aragonite, this beautiful little guy right here, he looks kind of like a coral little ocean critter. Or this card is letting go. You probably can't see it because my Zoom camera is grainy, and that's what I'm using to record this. Hopefully it's recording. Yeah, it's recording. Letting go. So your card is letting go. Something I want to note here. Okay, I really like the color schemes because I think it's very, there's a few things here. Green, earthy, very like heart chakra based, right? Which my nose is itching again. Every time I blow kisses to the camera, my nose itches. So you're sending me love back. Here's some more. So letting go, right? We see this green lily pad with a drop of water falling into the pond, and then there's this sort of ripple effect that happens in this really still pool of reflection. It's like reflective pool of water. A couple of things to note here. Um, a drop of water being incredibly significant to me, water being emotions, intuition, that sort of thing. So, one small drop of water, one small shift, one small thing, the ripple effect of impact that that can have is exponential, right? And I also want to say, aragonite, this crystal, relative to its like metaphysical healing properties, this has a lot to do with like groundedness and mental clarity. Also, like dropping burdens that maybe aren't yours and letting go, right? Being that it's the number eight, infinity sign, what goes around comes around, but dropping burdens that aren't yours, I think is going to be a significant element to this particular reading. Because again, once you like, oh, and this is something I encountered recently, which is so funny because I actually sent this person a picture of this crystal and I got it. Um, Whenever you try to help someone, okay, and they are not receptive or reflective, right? Each um each thing that you point out, each belief that you try to unpack or deconstruct is if they're not receptive to that, it will just feel like sandpaper on their skin. They're not in a space where they actually value self-actualization, self-growth, genuine reflection, or self like accountability. The ripple effect of it's just going to be not great. So letting go for me, I had to step outside of myself in this situation and recognize that I cannot save someone from themselves. I cannot save them if they are determined to be um and this is just from my own example that I'm relating to this card. Which is so funny that this rock came up. If someone is absolutely like has decided that they want to be avoidant or not see themselves um like the actions or like the literal ripple effect of impact in their choices, if they're only willing to like, if they're defensive and only willing to see it from a very like limited perspective, honoring that choice and letting go for them to essentially like destroy their own lives is, you know, I can't save you from yourself, big dog. So okay, letting go. Letting and this is something else. If once you let something go, if you feel a sense of relief, a sense of like peace, I mean, instantly, like my money started looking better, my energy started looking better. I was happier. I realized I had more like vitality and then it wasn't being like robbed from me or I wasn't just kind of like giving it away so freely. Um, what you pay attention to, what you focus on, your beliefs, your reflections, your ideas, like those things, they ripple out. And like your responsibility in your life is to get very clear on your own healing journey. It's not to save other people's from themselves. It's not to, uh, it's not to like carry other people's like baggage. This is and I think this is really significant that it's the aragonite because this card is a lot about mental clarity. It's I'm not this card, rather this well maybe I should. This stone is about mental clarity and groundedness for one's own like personal journey, especially if they've been carrying the baggage of others. And I can definitely say that's something. Anyway, letting go. Rejection is protection, and I think everything happens for a reason. Again, Knight of Cups, look, I'm lying and dying, guys. Knight of Cups, sometimes people just don't have the capacity, even if they want to mean well, they just don't have the capacity to like to be to be healthy and reflective. You can't save them. You you can't save them. You're never gonna have a happily ever after in a friendship or a job or a you can't like you could be a whole ass star, dude. And if someone isn't willing to do their own work, man, you can't help them. Stop it. Stop it. My collective pile three. No saviors. No saviors. You guys also might, because I said like this one has something to do with Ace of Cups. This might have to do with because like to me it looks like coral. So if you are connected to the ocean, or if you feel really connected to like cleaning up the trash or environmentalism, or really just focusing on like um yeah, saving the planet, saving the earth. I'm gonna go ahead and say that there needs to be a moment of gentleness for yourself because understand that this is, I'm getting full body goosebumps. You cannot take on the world, quite literally. You cannot take on the world. Just as you cannot save someone else from their problems, you are not solely responsible for the impact of like hundreds of thousands of humans. Okay. So if you were someone who, like, because for me, for example, I'm very big on upcycling and I'm very interested in, like where the trash goes. I think that there's a little bit of a problem there. For me personally, I focus a lot on, um, trash. Maybe I should stop and let that shit go. No, that's mean. But no, seriously, I feel I do, but I do. I focus on actually I focus on people's garbage. I'm a shadow worker. So in that I tend to try to love the parts of people that they've rejected within themselves. I tend to try to get them to see it so that we can like essentially just kind of draw attention to it together and like love it together. If you are someone who is rejecting yourself, right? If you don't have self-love, you're going to reject that medicine from me. So people who are not interested in shadow work or people who don't have the capacity to see themselves, they are 100% they're not going to be able to work with me. They're genuinely just not going to be able to work with me. They're not going to have the capacity. Very like Knight of Cups energy. But this Ace of Cups again, if you are that person that you can kind of see where people's blind spots are, or you can see where like like someone needs help or something. I get this energy of like seeing someone or something in distress because again this was for me for this situation here. I saw someone in distress and I wanted to help them, and I could see very clearly where they were getting in their own way in the context that they were not like they didn't have like an emotional or like they're like not emotionally available, and that emotional available lack of emotional availability or accountability, or that inability to sit in their like nervous system, right, or to reflect. They that created I could see how like the quite literally the ripple effect of impact in their life with their money, their relationships, their beliefs, all kinds of shit. And just drawing attention to it essentially created the situation where they're like, oh, that means I'm a shitty person. That means that I'm not good enough, or whatever, whatever meaning was added onto it. Um, Whenever people decide to do those kinds of things and make something like a simple reflection of like, hey, when you're dismissive or defensive, it's hard to like work with you. That doesn't mean you're a shitty person. It just means that I'm finding difficulty in cohesive collaboration. So whenever someone decides to have those kinds of thought patterns, you have to allow them. You have to just allow them, especially if they don't find value in like doing the work themselves and finding the grounded mental clarity, right? Especially if they don't find value in that. Which is interesting because this person quite literally was like, who would value this? Letting go. And I think that there's a lot of power. There's a lot of power in letting go and walking away because that is where, again, you might find mental clarity. So I'm going to keep going. Really? Mm. There's some clarifying cards for that Three of Pentacles, please. Yeah. Yeah. Give me a new perspective, please. New vision, new perspective. Collaboration. Yeah, like I said, and this can, and see me, I'm feeling disappointment. This can be disappointing. You might have a connection to pile two, and it's funny actually. I think in pile two, I may have said you might have a connection to pile three. So if you have a connection to both pile two and pile three, I'll say this. Sometimes choosing yourself fucking sucks. Sometimes it hurts, like really bad. Sometimes, like, seeing how someone is hurting themselves and knowing that you cannot do anything for them, knowing that you cannot do anything for them because they choose to hold on so tightly. Look at the grip this dude has. When someone chooses something and they're not budging, you can't work with them. Three of Pentacles, the collaboration card is clarified by the five of, you find yourself arguing, bickering, trying to get them to see a new vision, a new perspective. It's funny that we, well, quite literally, it's called Tarot of the New Vision. Tarot of the New Vision. I got a few like new decks of cards, so I've been playing with them, and this is one of them. But you can't, if someone is quite literally not willing and holding tightly onto, like, not willing to see a different perspective and holding tightly onto what they know, their conditioning and their programming, because maybe it's like worked for them in the past, right? Honor that. Just let that go. That's not yours. That's not yours. And actually, like I was saying in the last pile, holding on to something, even when you know it's done, like that creates a sourness, right? And if you see that someone is holding tightly onto something and creating sour fruits, honey, it's not your business to try to rip their sour, rotten fruits away from them. Especially if you said, hey, like if you if you put a little fertilizer here and water here and maybe don't water here and weed a little bit here, you could have beautiful fruits. No, 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 I know what I'm doing. Let them. Let it go. Let them create their own ripple effect, especially if they don't have the capacity to like reflect, if they can't find the stillness, right? Because that's a very still water. They can't find the stillness. Every drop of love, of information, of like insight that you give to like this person, every drop or ounce of help, actually might turn into resentment, right? If someone is not in the space or has like the capacity to go into that like sort of elevated way of thinking, they literally will form resentment. So you have to honor that. You have to honor someone's choice to hold on to their sticky patterns. And sometimes like choosing yourself and walking away from that as much as hard as it is sometimes, right? As much as it hurts because you know that you can help them, as much as it hurts, there's choosing yourself in the context of like not not fighting someone's ego, not fighting someone's beliefs, right? Choosing yourself is really the only thing you can do because give me a new vision. What do we want advice on? And I think this is something too that I'm learning is that community is important. Shadow community can be just as, and this is something that I think we discussed in the last two piles, so it's really interesting that it's coming up here, because this has been a lot of like, there's been a lot of like communal elements to these readings. Shadow community can be just as like detrimental and horrid to your life as much as like healthy community can really nourish your fruits. I mean, the the contrasting difference that I've experienced in like community that like where we hold ourselves and each other accountable, where we support each other, where we're there for each other, where we're like intimate and real and loving and heart-centered and empowered within our own life and our own journey and like we have good senses of self-esteem, like forming those kinds of groups versus groups of people that compete with each other, groups of people that can't cheer each other on, groups of people that use each other, that talk about each other, like kiki, those like the contrast of experiences is insane. It's insane. So if you are feeling called, and I guess this is why I'm saying this, if you are feeling called to walk away from a community, um, and something with environmentalism, especially if you have different ideas on environmentalism or something with the oceans or the waters or fish or animals or something like that, like if that's your thing, or plants even. I think coral is an animal. I don't know. I don't know. Um, I'm seeing like in my mind's eye, I'm seeing like a biologist or something working with the water, with the coral. So if you find yourself in a situation where like you just have differentiating views from someone else, just like maybe your work would be appreciated more elsewhere. Or, in my case, it would be. Um, but again, so that's the message. Maybe your work would be appreciated more elsewhere. So turn new vision. If you, because if you're getting a lot of flack, a lot of resistance, just a lot of nastiness and bickering and just messiness from a community, it's us there. It's literally else. Interesting. So this again, Tarot of the New Vision. If you have looked, okay, I have a very interesting message. If you have looked beyond the horizon, because the Three of Wands is a card about looking beyond the horizon, beyond what's right in front of you, it's quite possible that your answer might be behind you. The reason why I'm saying something with community and village, there's like a village of people walking by. Tarot of the New Vision. If you have looked beyond what is right in front of you, um, behind you, something with community, something with shadow, right? And look at what is truly unseen. Like really make it a point to look at your shadow or to look essentially behind your back. Like also, ooh, I don't like that. You decide to choose yourself and walk away from a community, the messiness will ensue. Watch your back. I think that there's like an element of divine protection because they're off in the distance. They can't harm you, but it's like fighting, bickering, looking beyond what is looking beyond what's behind. This is so interesting. That's such an interesting. So maybe your clarity, or maybe like your clarity came to you and you like walked past it, or there's something, maybe you got to clean something up with your community to be able to move forward. Yeah, actually, this is interesting. I like these cards. I feel like it really stretches my intuition, but also my reading skills. The Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. And it's like both of them faced the other way. Yeah, just what you're putting your energy into. Okay, okay. Ooh. Pay special attention to the energy and the manifestations, the fruits, so to speak, of your labor from the community. Like pay attention to their patterns. When moving forward, do not collect community that has this pattern, like these patternings. If you have recognized that something in the past, the way that it's the way the patternings, the beliefs, the something, be sure moving forward when you're choosing yourself to find that grounded stability, that grounded clarity. And when you're letting go, don't don't hold tight to this. Don't continue to invest in people like this, right? This is not this energy is not great. Yeah, this is all about just walking away from that crap community. Did I use the word trash in this reading? Yeah, trash community. Yeah, like there's people that like gossip and fight and just and you find yourself in a space of choosing you and walking away from these people, whenever you're creating your friendships, pay attention to the lessons that you've learned and the patternings that you've learned, and no longer say yes to those kinds of friendships. Like whenever someone shows you who they are, believe them. Believe them. And believe them and decide then and there if this is something that you want to continue to invest into, right? Or to let go of because you essentially you are the what? You are the amalgamation of like the five minds around you. So if you have community around you that is yeah, stressing you out, um keeping you up at night, I get like this element of like judgmentalness or if you feel like choosing yourself is almost like a crime because of the way that these people make you feel about it, baby, let that go. You don't, you don't need that. You don't need that. You don't need to take on the projections. And again, this is why I think you might have something in pile two. You don't need to take on the projections of what another person thinks is appropriate for you. That's not yours. It's not yours. Choose yourself. Let go of their karma, let go of their judgments, let go of community that can't reflect, that can't see themselves clearly, that can't, yeah, dude, like it's funny, one of the first things I heard is like look beyond what's right in front of you, but like look in the mirror. That's what I heard. Look in the mirror, because we're looking directly at this dude. In the original deck, we're looking at his back as he's looking over like the sea, right? Trying to see what's in the other lands, trying to see what else is there for him. Dude, this is stressing you the hell out. Let these people go. This is toxic community. Please let this toxic community go and pay attention to the patternings that they brought to you and do not manifest. Do not put more of that in your future. As soon as you get a whiff that someone is going to be sort of like weird or like just just whatever the red flags are, you know what I'm saying? As he's like wearing red. Whatever the red flags are for you, you know, he has a literal red cape. Don't don't gaslight yourself. Choose you. Choose to follow your own intuition, your own clarity. Like you cannot if someone is deciding that they want to stay in a limiting lack mindset, if they don't want to reflect, if they don't want to pay attention to their ripple effect of impact, now you literally like you can't do anything. You cannot continue to have your own self-growth journey and live an abundant, clear, happy, like genuinely good life. What and again, I'm seeing the ocean, trash-free life, a trash-free ocean. Just like no more bullshit, right? You cannot live that type of life if you continue to try to like essentially save people from themselves or choose community that is going to drag you down. It's going to continue to use you and not love you, to doubt you, to tear you down, to like, you know what I mean? Like, this is not community that you want. This is a community that's going to laugh at you, community, like whatever it is for you. I'm just kind of like pulling up examples. You are responsible for taking care of your body, your inner child, your nervous system, your shadow. You are responsible for those. And you're also responsible for the impact of your decisions and beliefs and emotions. Okay? You like the ripple effect ripples out and back to you. So what are you putting out? What drops are you putting out there and where? Where are you investing? Right? Are you investing into a life of anger and frustration and envy and like trying to um essentially like pull some I get the swamp of sadness and that horse what's his name? Oh, I hate these kids. Sorry. The dude with the swamp of sadness, right? You don't want to go down with them. You have to choose you, which means you have to put one of them down. So are you going to drown and not choose you, right? Let your ideas get stampled. And I don't know why I keep seeing like this like sort of scientific earth-based like cleaning economics sort of good energy, good money, good something like that. Like the maybe the idea of the original company was this, and what we're doing isn't necessarily in alignment with the original goal or vision, or maybe just in general we have this sort of like goal or vision and what we're doing is not in alignment with that. If that is the case, you have to choose, like, do you want the money, the recognition, the sort of, do you want everyone to like sort of agree with you and kind of clap and the earth then pays the price? Or, do you want to feel comfortable and good and have everyone agree with you and tell you you did it, bud, but you're actually kind of like burning down your own life because you're letting your shadow take over? Like um if you ask unhealthy, unhappy people for advice on how to be healthy and happy, what kind of quality of advice do you think you're going to get? Now, if you're looking at community that is actually healthy and happy, what kind of quality of advice do you think that you're going to get? And when you get that quality advice, right, and you don't apply it, then those you have to, it's whichever situation you're in, either looking at someone that you've tried to advise in a healthy way, or someone is advising you and you're not taking, like, whatever it is for you, or someone is giving you bad advice and you're not taking whatever it is for you. Pay attention to that, whatever side of this that you're on, and put one of them down, okay? Put one of them down. Pain, judgment. Maybe it feels like a period of like reconsideration, or maybe it feels like you are making the wrong choice, because again, I always get that feeling like people are gonna be mad at you. Um, but that's okay. I don't know if you can hear the siren. Again, I'm going to say this. It might feel like a literal emergency. It might feel like a literal emergency whenever things start crashing down because you decide to do something different, but hold steady, because the Fool talks about new beginnings. And a lot of times when we're pushed into like new timelines, or like we quantum leap into something new, into a new mindset, a new mentality, the people around us are not going to fucking agree with you. Like, the people around us will not agree with us. They're going to think we're crazy. They're going to think that we've gone mad, like you're acting different. You think that you're all that because you love yourself now? Dude, no, I don't think I'm all that, but I think I'm at least something. At least I don't think I'm a piece of crap like I used to, and I think that's something. But if your cycle, like your cycle, maybe it's applicable too. If this last cycle of your life and this circle of people of your life literally required you to see yourself as a piece of crap, and you don't want to see yourself as that anymore, those people will not come with you. Those people are not going to be able to go into this new, like, part of your journey. And you don't need to choose people who are like that. You don't need to choose people who are miserable, who are sad, who are creating lives for themselves that are not conducive to health and happiness. And to really like look at that with a sense of like reconsideration, reevaluation, pull the skeletons out of the closet to have a new beginning. And this is why I'm saying again, I keep wanting to go back to this. So I'm going to pull the rest of your advice line, which I've never done this, but I'll pull the rest of your advice line with this other deck. Again, old way of doing things. This is the original deck, the Fool, beginning a new way of doing things. So yeah, actually, I'm going to pull four more cards in this new vision. So it's kind of a cool reading, guys. Don't don't see what flash on. It was only oddly resonant at the beginning, and I kind of jumped into channel and quit out of that. And I almost want to go back and watch this video to see how cool it actually is for my journey. So I'm very much so in like a new beginning. Look, a new beginning, a new beginning. And this is, instead of the nature and stuff, there's like a castle in the background. So a new beginning, some kind of big, beautiful, like there's a castle in the background. Like there are good things coming and maybe quick. Maybe quick. That's why I said maybe there was some kind of element is like as soon as you let something go, something big and beautiful comes in for you in the last pile. So being that we have the Fool and we have the new card and the Ace of Pentacles, something new, something big, something beautiful, different perspective, a castle damn near in the sky on the top of the hill. Baby, you got something good coming in for you once you leave this group thinking, this negative mentality mindset, these people who hold you back, who hold you down, who like really can't, they don't want to see you win. I get this feeling like they don't want to see you win. Oh, yes. See? That's beautiful. I'll take it actually. And there's five here, but more merrier, I guess. I don't know if I can show this online, but so this is the star card. I can't, she's new, but Terror of the New Vision. Like there are people walking by, there's stars. She's got um she's got her two chalices, her jugs, urns, I don't know what they're called. Um the pool is actually relatively still. There's illumination, a fire, it's kind of like Ace of Wandsy, a new beginning. It's when you have the Two of Wands and then this on fire. Excuse me. See, we got this like little wand on fire, and I think it's really interesting. We have the Two of Wands here with the star card. Inspiration, direction, communication. Ooh, yeah, actually, I'll say that. Listen, once you walk away from this group of people, all hell's gonna break loose. They're gonna talk about you. They're gonna mock you. They're not gonna be nice to you. But that's okay because you know that you can see your castle in the distance. You can. You can. You're in this whole new perspective. It's like this doesn't even, it almost doesn't even matter to you once you pass through that new, like that threshold, that Fool, because again, the Fool is the zero, it's the first card in the major arcana. Once you have this like reconsideration of the type of like community and the people that you've been surrounding yourself that you have been trying to save, I get that element here, this like savior complex sort of thing. If you have been trying to save someone and you can just kind of tell that they're not on your level and they want to stay in their like crappy patterns, dude, let them, because once you let go, once you drop one of the timelines, one of the pinnacles, one of the possibilities of your life, once you put it down and say, okay, I honor your sovereignty and staying whatever, and staying in your lack mindset and staying in your shadowy patterns and your lack of account, whatever it is for you, even though it hurts to say goodbye, reconsidering what is right for me, this is not right for me, knowing that there's more love on the way and is. The Fool talks about new beginnings into the one, the Ace of Pentacles, right? Castle in the background. This one, there's no nudity, but I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of cover it anyway. This Ace of Chalice, this new emotional beginning. Dude, dude. Because okay, there's kids, families, people playing in the background. This song covering up because they're naked. But a new vision, right? There is community literally waiting to love you in the ways that you need to be loved and held. Oh, but you gotta let go of wanting to save other people. You gotta say yes to looking at the hard parts of yourself. You gotta say yes to seeing yourself clearly. And this, and I'm gonna say this goes for me because I'm also walking away from this like wanting to save someone from themselves. And I had to take a good hard look and say like, why am I doing this? What is this? Is it giving me worthiness value? Is it making me feel, lovable? What is this for me? And the real truth is that, honestly, between you and me in this space, it doesn't matter. But the real truth is that no matter what the intention on my end was, is that I was actually creating harm because that person was not ready to join me in this new like way of being, right? And this happens with clients, this happens with friends, this happens with lovers, this happens with neighbors, coworkers, jobs, places that you live, collective, like sort of like people that you like, communities. Like this is not just, it's not just one thing. This could be much bigger than simply your group of friends. And I'm getting like, for some of you, a group of friends, for some of you, very much so like a job situation where they're not valuing your ideas or your perspectives relative to the environment. I don't know who that is, but um, yeah, yeah. Just forward movement. The Knight of Swords does not really care who they cut down with their truth, and I feel like there needs to be almost this element of like, no, I know what's right for me, and this toxicity is not right for me. This village is burning down. He's heading out of there. He's getting out of there. On to this star, something different, something more true. But to do that, to reach the star, you have to let go. You have to let go to reach your source of inspiration. You have to let go of what no longer serves you. You can't save everyone. Actually, specifically, you can only save yourself. You can be a source of inspiration to people, but they have to, go the mile. They have to do their own work. And that's something I'm learning in, I think, love and friendship and in my career is that I cannot chase people down for them to see their shadow. I can't say, hey, 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 look at this thing. It'll help you feel better. It'll make your life much easier if you stop getting in your own way. Um, if they want to stay that way, let them choose you because you're worth it.